Good evening. Although I wish we would have been in Chatham High School's auditorium sharing our eighth grade presentation, this virtual presentation is the next best thing. Please keep in mind that the information we're going to share over the course of this presentation will reflect how school will look if we're back to a regular school day in September. Any adjustments that need to be made because of scheduling changes, we will communicate to you as freshmen, students, and parents throughout the course of the summer. If at the end of the presentation you have any questions, please feel free to reach out via email and we'll get you whatever information we're able to at that time. Enjoy the presentation. This is the second time that we're meeting you as eighth grade students and parents to our high school and what we have to offer. Our first meeting was back in January when we discussed our curriculum. And at that time, we shared with you the core course options and the elective options that your eighth grader had to select from to build their schedule for ninth grade. Those schedules were opened this past Monday for a couple of days. Hopefully your child has seen the courses that he or she has, and there are no issues. A couple of other things I want to talk about is just the independence and responsibility. One of the biggest changes you're going to see in your child and what they're going to experience over the course of their 4 years in high school, but certainly even starting CHS in September, is the amount of decision-making, time management, and communication that they're going to be having with their teachers, with administration, with our subject area supervisors where necessary. They're going to recognize the self-advocacy and the responsibility that really is on them throughout their 4 years in Chatham High School to make the best of the experience that they're going to have. They're also going to have a lot of opportunities to find and develop in the areas in which they're interested, whether that's clubs, activities, athletics, things of that nature. So as the students get older, they're going to have greater independence and responsibility, and that really is part of the process that helps them prepare for life after Chatham High School. And the last piece here to the introduction is our school community. One of the reasons why Chatham High School has the reputation it has is because of the pride and the effort that our students put into their work and into their environment. Chatham High School is what it is because of our school community. Although our building is pretty old in many areas, I will tell you that our building is not dirty or run down. Our kids respect the different areas of the building, and they have an opportunity to really kind of be a part of, a place that where they're comfortable coming and learning and being with their peers and their teachers as well. And the final piece is representing Chatham High School. What they're going to recognize quickly, and I mentioned this in the earlier presentation, is that the older students, our juniors, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, conduct themselves in a respectful manner where most of the time very good decisions are made, and that really is part of what molds our school environment, which is good for our students, it's good for our teachers, it's good for the school community. Supporting academic achievement or student achievement with our technology. Our students, much like they currently experience in the middle school, they have their Chromebooks. Each student has a Chromebook. They have wireless access around the building. We use Google Apps, Gmail, and Drive, just as they have been using. One of the changes that they're going to witness is the use of Schoology, which really is kind of akin to Google Classroom that they've been used to using there. Schoology is a little bit more robust and it's more interactive than Google Classroom. So all of their courses are going to live in that Schoology platform for a central organization and for their assignments, for posting of events and communication with staff and administration as well. When I look at the journey that your child's going to take over the next 4 years, I break it down into year by year. And in ninth grade, what they're going to find is they're really taking that time to acclimate to a new environment. They're no longer the oldest students in the building as they were last year, walking the halls with 6th and 7th graders. They're going to be our youngest students, walking the halls with some 17 and 18-year-olds. They're going to be having experiences within the building, the clubs and activities they choose to be a part of that they maybe didn't have as a middle schooler. And that's going to take time to adjust and kind of find their niche and their area of interest, and that's perfectly fine. In 10th grade, they're going to lay their foundation. They're going to have a year of comfort under their belt. They're going to know what to expect. and they'll no longer be the youngest students in the building, and that will be a difference for them. As they move on to 11th grade, they're going to be looking at the 2 years that they've already gone through, seeing what they've accomplished in all aspects of their school day, and they're going to be starting to look at their next steps. They're going to start preparing for whether it's college, the workplace, whatever it may be. And then in 12th grade, our hope is that they're building a bridge to independence, that they're able to pull from their last 3 years of high school and really be prepared to make good decisions that are going to have positive effects for them as they walk out our doors in June of 2024. Student achievement and development. We have a great reputation here at Chatham High School. As I said earlier, it's not because of any one thing, it's because of everything. We have students that work very, very hard to be successful academically. Our extracurricular results, whether it's in our competitive clubs or our athletics or our theater and arts, we have many students who do very well because of the work that they put in. And that really is, congratulations to their efforts and what they want to accomplish during their time here at Chatham High School. We also have an alumni return day every year, which happens just before the winter holiday in December. And what we do is have a panel of current freshmen in college who had graduated the previous June, and we have them share with our current seniors what their experience their first year in college was like, and how what they experienced at Chatham High School during their time really prepared them in being able to navigate their way through their freshman year. They also share with us sometimes things that we missed and things that maybe we need to adjust with in order to make sure our students are leaving here well prepared. The student experience at Chatham High School. Your 8th graders have gone through a rotating schedule. Our rotation is a 4-day rotation. It's a day 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you recognize on the schedule here, each day starts with the period that correlates to that day. You'll also recognize that 3 of our 4 classes in the morning, periods 1, 2, 3, and 4, meet each day. And in the afternoon, it's that same rotation. Periods 5 through 8 rotate each of the 4 days. So on day 1, period 4 drops and period 8 drops. On day 2, period 1 and 5 drop, so on and so forth. So you're not seeing the same teachers the same time every day. You'll also recognize our lunch and our lab. So our sciences are built out of our lunch period. So once every 4 days, a science class will extend into the lunch period. If we were to fill the schedule with typical freshman classes, this is what it would look like. So you'll notice that biology is a day 1, period 1. It meets the first block of the day. On day 2, it drops. On day 3, it meets in the third block. On day 4, it meets in the second block. So over 4 days, the students are seeing their biology teacher 3 times and 3 different periods of the day. In looking at the science lab, this student schedule has biology on day 3. So the day that science period meets up with lunch, which is day 3, that those students in that biology class would stay in the science class for half of the lunch period. And around halfway through the lunch period, a bell would ring, and those biology students would go to lunch, and the students who have science class the first period after lunch would go to science early. You'll also recognize here the student has a study hall in the afternoon, period 7. So when that study hall hits the last block of the day, which for this student is day 1, that student would be dismissed with parental permission after the middle block in the afternoon. So on day 1, this student could be dismissed at 1:40 for the school day. Again, that's only with parental permission, and there'll be a form in the Genesis portal for parents to sign off. Many of our students take a study hall. Probably about 70% of our students take a study hall on their schedule. Those study halls meet each period. They're typically in the cafeteria or in our media center. If they are in the cafeteria, students are able to purchase food or drinks from the cafeteria. They have their electronic devices to work on. They can use their cell phones at that time, or their Chromebooks, or their laptop if they choose to bring that. We also have a test makeup center. So one of the advantages to having a study hall is a student will always have an opportunity, if they're missed school for a day or a period and they miss an assessment, that the very next day they would be able to sign into the test center during their study hall and make up the test they missed the previous day. The benefit there is that they never get caught too far back or too far behind in any of their courses because of the timeliness of being able to make up any sort of assessment. Our common lunch, all of our students eat lunch at the same time. So we have our seniors, about almost 3/4 of our seniors are out on open campus. We have some students who are in science lab for each half of lunch. So that leaves about 800 to 900 students who are eating lunch at one time. We do have the cafeteria available. We have about 60 picnic tables available in the C gym. We have our bleachers open in the AB gym, and we have the A wing hallway where students are allowed to walk around and be mobile during that time. There are no seating assignments. Typically, students find where they're going to sit in the first couple of days, and that becomes habit, and that's where they end up eating throughout the course of the school year. We do have a Cougar Deli, which is the Boar's Head Sandwich Deli, and students are able to purchase sub sandwiches made to order. There is a way for them to pick up a slip and order that sandwich early in the morning when they show up to school. And if they were to do that, it would be purchased through their school account, and the sandwich would be already made and waiting for them when the lunch period starts. So they'll recognize that once school gets in session, and they'll see that that's going to help expedite, our food lines and such during the 54-minute lunch period. We do also have open for resources the media center, computer lab. Again, the test makeup center is available, so students can also utilize not only their study hall, but they can utilize the test makeup center during the lunch period as well. And the other positive component of our common lunch is that many of our clubs meet during that time. So what that allows for is a student to be involved in multiple things and have less conflict. So if they have athletics practice after school, it doesn't mean they can't be a part of a club because of conflict. Those clubs are typically meeting during the lunch period. If they're in the school play or they're in the marching band, that typically meet after school. Having our lunch club meetings during lunch really allows for our students to be a part of multiple things during each school year. And that's been a very positive part of our school. Our online resources. So our student handbook is found online on the website. The handbook has our grading policies, attendance policies, our code of conduct. It also has a variety of other guidelines and policies that we use to run our building throughout the school day. That's posted now, and it remains posted all year. So it's an easy opportunity for our students to check them out, or our parents to check out the handbook. If they have any questions about what's being done in school or any questions about how school is being run. There is also in the back a template, as you saw earlier in the slideshow, of our rotating schedule. And often what we find is that our ninth graders plug in manually into that template their rotation. So it helps them for the first couple of cycles, kind of as a cheat sheet, if you will, to be able to know where to go and when to go there for each of our 4-day rotation. Schedules for 2021, as I said earlier, our schedules were posted this past Monday and were available at least until today or tomorrow. Hopefully your child did take a look at it, printed it out if they wanted to, or took a photo of it on their phone. It's important that you make sure that the counselor's assignment or the counselor that your child is assigned to is on that schedule. That's the person you're going to be in contact with any communication moving forward. That counselor will also be your child's counselor for the next 4 years. So that's an important person to get to know. It's also important your child make sure that all 8 periods are filled in, whether it's with a core course, an elective course, or a study hall. If your child has any questions or there are concerns or something that looks like isn't lined up where it should be, please make sure your child reaches out to the high school or his or her counselor with any questions. This is what a sample schedule looks like. It's similar to, it's from the Genesis portal. It's similar to what they're, have seen through their 8th grade schedule and their middle school schedule. A couple of things you're going to notice here: we have full year courses and semester courses only. We don't have quarter courses here at Chatham High School. So as they look through their schedule, this would be a little bit of a guide as to what they're seeing, and to make sure and confirm that everything that they need is present. A couple of things in an effort to really have a smooth transition coming in. There's no question that your child or incoming 9th graders are going to have some anxiety about starting the high school. They're going to be nervous, and that's okay. That's natural. I would probably say that all of our students and our staff on the first couple of days of school are coming in with a little bit of nervousness because it's the start of a new school year. Some of that is also excitement. So I know people are looking forward to coming back in September. But a couple of things we want to make sure that they're ready for. If we're able to open the school in the summer for students to come in and walk around, they could acclimate themselves to the building, to the layout, to where classes are. We would have school maps available to help them navigate through the high school. It's important that they make sure they take a look at the student handbook, at some of the policies that may affect them early on. One of them is going to be the scheduling change policy. We do want to have our kids settle into their schedule for the first rotation before any decisions are made about making changes. But we also want to make sure that if they are interested in making any changes, that they are doing it following our policy, so that we are disrupting our master schedule as little as possible once school starts up. We also want to encourage your child and you to take a look at the website and the school counseling section of our website. There's a ton of information there regarding what they're going to be looking at for the next 4 years. By no means am I saying look at the college preparation information that our juniors and seniors are looking at, but we do have a 4-year worksheet or plan. And if you look at what is expected in 9th grade, that will help provide some communication and insight as to what your child and you may expect starting in September. Another part of the high school experience is really getting involved. We offer a whole host of athletics here at the high school in the 3 different seasons: in the fall, the winter, and the spring. As I said earlier, it is not determined what the fall athletics will look like. As we gather information from the NJSIAA, which is our state athletic association, and our governor, as far as how athletics may look in the fall, we'll be sharing that information with our coaches and with our athletes and with our school community as well. But in a regular case scenario, these are the sports that we have to offer here at Chatham High School. We offer many of them at a variety of levels, including freshman level, a JV level, and a varsity level. And again, as the seasons roll around, a lot of communication will be coming out from our athletic office to make sure that all the information needed to make decisions is right there for our students and their parents. From the athletic department, all medical forms can be found on the high school website under the athletics tab. We will be communicating any updates to the mandatory physical that's necessary in order to participate in high school athletics. Because of the situation we are in, I know there are some restrictions and modifications to the requirements for this fall that will be in place. Again, once we have that information, we will be sharing that out to our athletes and their parents. And avoiding vacations in season, I do want to emphasize, and this doesn't just go for the fall, whether you're participating in a winter sport, a spring sport, or a fall sport, it is important that if you are committing to a team to participate on one of our athletic teams, that you are there from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And that would include time when school is not in session, whether it's winter break or spring break in the spring season. So please be aware of that as well. We do try to get dates out to the parents as far ahead in advance as possible, so that it does assist you in planning around the commitment that your student is making to our athletic teams. So again, that communication will come out as we confirm it here at the high school. We offer about 70 plus clubs and activities here at Chatham High School. We'll be holding at some point, one way or another, an activity fair. If we can do it live during the school day, If we're in session, that has been what we've done for the last 10 or 15 years. That would happen at lunch during one of our school days, where our students would be able to go around and get an idea of all the different clubs and activities we have to offer. There are sign-up sheets, and they meet some of the upperclassmen who are part of those clubs. And that really is the first step of getting involved with Chatham High School outside the classroom. If we are unable to be in school in September full-time, as we hope, we will look to put some virtual club presentation together so that we are able to share information with opportunities outside of the classroom for our students. As I said earlier, the Chatham High School website has a ton of information on it. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, or maybe right after this presentation, you could go onto the website and just kind of peck around and see the different parts and categories and topics and tabs that are there. That will help you understand where the information is if you're going to end up needing that information at some point moving forward. So we have our news and announcements. We have our school calendar that's there. We have our counseling tab, which has a lot of information regarding scheduling, the college process, testing, the 4-year plan, which I indicated earlier. Our athletics and clubs and activities also have information on our website, and that will help you understand the different opportunities that are going to exist here for your kids. Parent involvement at CHS. Chatham High School is what it is, not only because of our students and our staff, but because of our school community and really the parent involvement that occurs in the different activities or the different clubs that we have to offer. So our performing arts boosters, our athletic boosters, and our PTO really are a terrific supplement to what we're able to offer here at Chatham High School. Without their support, some of the things that we do simply wouldn't run as well or as smoothly as it does. So all of their hard work efforts are appreciated by the high school, and you're going to be hearing a lot of information from them looking for you as incoming 9th grade parents to really get involved and be a part of supporting the high school, for your students and for the high school at large. So again, to recap at this point, your child has already seen the preliminary schedule. There are changes that may be made to that schedule as we balance classes throughout the course of the summer. We will open up the schedules for another short window in July. The reason we do that is because between the time we close them in June and open them in July, we're doing a lot of balancing. We want to make sure that your child gets a chance to see their schedule for a second time in case changes have been made and something was omitted or taken out or changed that shouldn't have been changed. And then we close it in July, and then we open it again in August, which will be the final real schedule that your child will be utilizing when school opens up in September. So at this point, if you have any questions or comments, and you need to reach out to either me or to a counselor here at the high school, please feel free to do so. It has been a challenging end of this school year. The summer is going to bring challenges as we prepare for September, and as we gather new information or any changes that have to be made to what things may look like, we'll be sure to be communicating with our school community, our parents, and our students as well. Enjoy the summer.